Well, hello there, and welcome back to another Collector John collection pickups update extravaganza. Yep, we're back with another pickups update video. I'm going to show you guys all of the video games that I picked up in the last 6 months or so, which is a pretty long time. It's been a while since I've done one of these. I think one of the things that I wasn't super happy about with my earlier collection pickups videos is that I hadn't actually played a lot of the games that I picked up. So I tried to be a little more conscious of that this time around, and I actually played a lot of these games that I picked up that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Not all of them, but probably at least 80% of these I actually did play before making this video. And when I say play, I don't mean that I played them to completion, but I played like, 2 hours, 5 hours, maybe 10 hours, depending on how much I liked the game. And because I played so many of these, I thought it'd be fun to actually rank all of them based on how much I enjoyed the game. So as we're going through today's pickups, we'll start with the games that I enjoyed the least and go up to the ones that I enjoyed the most. And I just thought that'd be a pretty fun way to do it, you know? And like I said, I did play most of these, but there are a couple that I haven't played yet. So for those games, we'll just put them in the ranked list based on how excited I am to play them, I guess. So I'm certainly not perfect when it comes to playing all of the games that I pick up for my games collection, but I know there are a lot of YouTubers out there who are making game collecting videos who aren't playing very many of those games. You gotta start playing more of your video games, dude. You gotta play more games, you know what I mean? Before we get into my ranked list of pickups, we'll also go through all the Goodwill pickups that I found in the last 6 months. I'm not gonna include those as part of the ranked list because, I don't know, that just feels like kind of a different thing to me. They probably all be at the bottom of the list anyway because they're not that great. And then we're also gonna be doing an unboxing of some new games that I bought using the Deku Deals app, who are the sponsor of today's video. That's right, I got a sponsor. I'm a real YouTuber now. Double beverages. Yeah, that's enough yapping. Let's get into it, baby. Okay, folks, we're gonna start off with the Goodwill pickups. Here's my little Goodwill stack. I would say for 6 months of collecting and going to Goodwill, this is not that great. It's not that much stuff, but there is some somewhat decent stuff in here, I guess. You know, we got a couple PS1 games, some Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, Wii. Nintendo Wii. We'll start with this Wii game, I guess. Maybe we'll rank these Goodwill pickups separately from like least excited to most excited. I haven't played any of these Goodwill pickups. I'm a fraud. Just calling people out for not playing their collection pickups when I haven't played any of my Goodwill pickups. I think that speaks poorly to my character, to say the least. We got a copy of Cruisin' for the Wii. I don't know why I picked this up. It was $3. This is part of the Cruisin' series of racing games though, which is that's like a decently fun series of racing games. Everyone played Cruisin' USA at Walmart at some point, right? My Walmart had a Cruisin' USA arcade machine, so I'd play it. I'd get a Mountain Lightning or a Dr. Thunder for 25 cents and play some Cruisin' USA. Those are the days, baby. But yeah, I think this is like a complete copy. Yeah, it is. It's a nice complete copy of Cruisin' for the Wii. Let's check out this disc. That disc looks pretty good. It's a nice looking disc. Nothing wrong with that. Let's check out this manual. Got a nice black and white manual. It is a 12-page manual, so that's a decent amount of pages. Yeah, so that's Cruisin' USA. That's my Goodwill pickup that I'm probably the least excited about, but it's still okay, I guess. I also grabbed a couple Forza Motorsport games from Goodwill. I have Forza Motorsport 3 and Forza Motorsport 4 as well. I'm pretty sure one of these is the one that has the Top Gear stuff in it. Yeah, Forza 4. I remember my friend had this in college, and I was watching him play it, and there's like a bunch of Top Gear stuff in it. And that was when I was like very into Top Gear. I watched a lot of Top Gear in college, and I'm still like, I'm a casual automotive enthusiast, I guess. Not really that much of an expert when it comes to car stuff, but I watch a lot of car YouTube, I don't know, for some reason. I drive a 2014 Toyota Corolla. It's not an interesting car. It's like the most boring possible car you could drive, but I love it. It's really reliable. Yeah, and I think neither of these are complete. This copy of Forza 3, this does come in the double disc case, which is kind of nice, like the one with the extra disc holder thingy that you can flop it around. Kind of flops back and forth. Oh, it came out. All right, that's cool. And then Forza 4, yeah, no manual for this one either. I'm not sure if either of these came with manuals. You can let me know if they did. People are always letting me know if stuff came with manuals or not in the comments, and I do appreciate that. Both of those discs looked fine. But yeah, again, just pretty standard Goodwill stuff. Somewhat excited about these. I didn't have them in the collection, so I just thought I'd pick them up because I like racing games. I like the Xbox 360. etc. And I grabbed a copy of Just Cause 2 for the Xbox 360. Just Cause 2 is pretty sick. I don't know why I don't have it yet. This is a pretty nice complete copy. Got a manual. You know, pretty standard black and white manual. This one is 17 pages, so a little longer than the manual for Cruisin' Wii. Cruisin' for Wii's. Yeah, I played this at a friend's house in high school, and we were just laughing our asses off because this game is freaking ridiculous. And I don't think I've played it since then for some reason, so yeah, this was a good one to add to the collection. I will probably mess around with it at some point. I'm not like super duper excited about it, but it's still a pretty good pickup. Next up, we have a couple PS1 games that I found at Goodwill. I'd say I'm pretty equally excited about all of these, so I'll just do them all together. We grabbed a copy of Army Men World at War Team Assault, which is fine, I guess. I don't have any Army Men games on the PS1. And again, I have memories of playing Army Men 3D at a friend's house when I was like 7 years old. So this is an Army Men 3D, but it's still an Army Men game on the PlayStation 1, so fairly similar. My friend had the original model of PlayStation 1 that only read discs about 30% of the time, so that was really fun. We turned it upside down and put the disc side down on the floor to make it read the disc. And this is actually a really nice complete copy of this game. The case is really clean, the manual looks good. Disc looks great. It has some like dust on it, you probably won't be able to see that. But this is like a really good looking disc. Kind of looks like it hasn't been played at all. Like this is just a PS1 discs don't get much better than that. So yeah, it's a really nice copy of Army Men World at War Team Assault for the PlayStation 1. I found this game Slamscape at a Goodwill. I don't know what this is. What's Slamscape?
Slamscape. Drive, shoot, slam. Real-time 3D. 5 twisted levels, 4 life-threatening zones. Lots of loud music. High-stakes action. High speed. Control the noise. Slamscape. For Sony, PlayStation, and PC CD-ROM.
Here's what it says on the back of the case. Here's the deal. You, along with 16 other captives, are victims of a freakish experiment, hooked up to the Slamscape simulator. Enter the Slamjet. I don't know what this is. This seems kind of cool. It has a frickin' MTV logo on the cover. It's an MTV production. I don't know, dude, what is this game? I just now noticed the MTV logo. This game seems like it has some serious attitude. I'm moving this one to most excited Goodwill pickup. This looks cool. And then I grabbed a copy of Road Rash 3D, which is, I think this is not the good Road Rash game. I think you want to get the original, not 3D Road Rash, and play that one instead. But, you know, this is a pretty nice copy. Got a manual in there, got a disc that looks pretty good. Again, it's just a little bit dusty, but it's a pretty good looking disc. There's an ad for Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit on the back of the manual. Frickin' love Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, dude. Probably my favorite Need for Speed. Probably the one that I played the most. Played a lot of it on PC back in the day. And yeah, we have a pretty nice looking manual here. So yeah, those are my PS1 pickups. I think all of those are pretty cool for Goodwill, you know, and I think I paid $2 for all of these, so really not bad at all. Next up, we have something that I already had in the collection, but it's more of a condition upgrade thing. I grabbed a copy of Call of Duty 3. I grabbed a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3 for the PlayStation 2. And this game is just a freaking classic. Like, if you have a PS2, you have to have a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3. And this is a really nice Black Label copy, and it's totally complete. Like, it has the map in here, has the manual. Let's take a look at this map. Let's unfold this bad boy. Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember all this. So we got a poster on one side, the classic GTA 3 poster, and then on the other side, we got that map, baby. Welcome to Liberty City. Here's your map with the pictures of the sexy ladies on it. Then we got that manual. Is this one like the kind of newspaper style manual? No, it's not. I think the Xbox version had the more newspapery looking manual, or maybe that's just a different Grand Theft Auto game that I'm thinking of. But yeah, we got a guide to the local gangs. That's really cool. And the disc is a little scuffed up, but it's fine. I might actually get this one resurfaced. I feel like Grand Theft Auto 3, you're just not gonna find a pristine disc for it unless you buy a brand new copy, because if you owned a copy of Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PlayStation 2, you were playing the shit out of that thing, you know? You were playing that video game. But anyway, this copy is a big improvement from my other copy, which does not have the manual or the map or anything, and this disc is like super messed up. It still runs, but it's like not a good copy of Grand Theft Auto 3 at all. So yeah, I'm excited about this one, even though I have it. It's a great game, and it's a really good condition upgrade. So pretty stoked to have this nice copy of Grand Theft Auto 3 that is mostly nice except for the disc, which is a little scuffed up, but that's fine. Okay, we have 2 left here. Both of these are pretty cool. We grabbed a copy of God of War, Chains of Olympus from Goodwill. And I think this is like a slightly more valuable PlayStation Portable game, like maybe a $20 game, so it's not like crazy value. But finding it for, you know, $3 at a Goodwill, that's a pretty good deal. And this is also totally complete as well. So we have the manual and some inserts in here. Oh, let's look at these inserts. I'm excited. We have an ad for the PlayStation 3, the original PlayStation 3 model, talking about high definition entertainment on the back, and photos. You can put photos on your game console. What an amazing time we live in. And then the rest of this is just some registration card stuff. All these like perforated cards have been torn apart, but you know, they're still in good shape. And I like having stuff like this. I don't know. I think registration cards are cool. Probably never look at it again, but still kind of a cool thing. And I just realized we have 2 manuals in here. We have the manual for Chains of Olympus, and then also the manual for Ghost of Sparta is in here. That's a different God of War game on the PlayStation Portable. So that's, I don't know, that's kind of interesting to have 2 manuals for 2 different games that came with this copy of God of War, Chains of Olympus. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. And I feel like if I was gonna play a God of War game from around this period, like I've talked about this before, I'm not like the biggest God of War fan, but I think playing one of these on the PSP would be pretty sick. So I'm pretty excited to have this copy of God of War, Chains of Olympus from Goodwill. And then lastly, the Goodwill pickup that I'm most excited about is, well, maybe I'm more excited about God of War. I don't know, but this is cool too. So we have Burnout Revenge for the Xbox 360. I already have this game on the original Xbox, but I've never played the Xbox 360 version. I would love to check it out. And again, like slightly more valuable, not crazy value, but it's like maybe a $15 or $20 game, which is pretty cool. And again, a nice complete copy. Let's check out this disc, see how the disc is looking. Disc looks pretty okay. You probably can't even see any of these discs when I hold them up, but whatever. It's a cool visual. Just holding up a disc, it looks cool. And yeah, we got that manual in here as well, which is another black and white manual. Pretty short manual. That's we got a 9-page manual. It's like the shortest one so far, but whatever. Yeah, Burnout games are my freaking jam. I love Burnout. It might be my favorite racing game series. But yeah, I'm very excited about this one. This is a totally solid Goodwill pickup. So yeah, that's the Goodwill pickups. I probably spent about $27 on these. I'll put the price charting info for these up here, just because I'm curious. I'm always curious about the price charting info on my Goodwill pickups. But yeah, I feel like it's probably a pretty decent stack for 27 bucks. So okie dokie, and now it's time for something that I'm very excited about. We're gonna unbox a few brand new games that I purchased using today's sponsor, Deku Deals. I've been using Deku Deals for a few weeks now, and I think it's pretty awesome. It's a really good way to track sales and deals on video games, and particularly for me, I use it a lot to track sales on physical games because that's what I like to collect. You can use it to find deals on games for the Switch 2, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series consoles, and PC as well. So it tracks Steam deals also, which is pretty sick. They have an iOS and Android app that you can download to your phone and create a wish list of games that you want to keep an eye on. Here's what my wish list looks like. There's some pretty good stuff on here. And when one of these goes on sale, I will get a notification directly to my phone telling me that it's gone on sale. And I literally just did that yesterday when Dragon Age Veilguard went on sale on Amazon for $20. And I just immediately bought it because I've been wanting to pick that game up. And $20 is like by far the best price that I've seen so far for a physical copy. You can also use the Deku Deals app to build your collection, which is pretty sick. You can basically use that feature to create a log of all the games that you already own, whether it's physical or digital. You can even link it up to your Steam account, which will add all of your Steam library to the collection, as well as your wishlisted stuff. So that's another really cool feature. But yeah, I use Deku Deals to add all of these cool physical games to my collection. I found pretty good deals on all of them. Head on over to DekuDeals.com and check it out, baby. I got a link down in the description. You can also download the app on iOS or Android, which is how I use it. I'm pretty excited to rip into these and show you guys what I picked up. So thanks again to Deku Deals for sponsoring this video. Let's get into these pickups. I'm gonna start off with this big one, because I wanna see what's in the big one. I ordered these a few weeks ago, so I remember like some of what I ordered, but not everything. But we're gonna crack into this big one. All right, so first up we have oh hell yeah, we have a copy of Alan Wake 2. Deluxe edition for the PlayStation 5. I'm pretty sure when I fired up the Deku Deals app, this was like the first thing that I added to my wish list. And pretty soon after adding it, it went on sale for $45, and this is an $80 game. So $45 is a pretty good price for this, and I'm really, really excited to have this game physically. I freaking love Alan Wake 2. I love Remedy. This is probably my favorite game that I played in 2023. And let's crack this one open. Let's see what we got in here. I don't think this has like a manual or any cool goodies in it, but I just wanna open it up anyway, you know? All right, so we have a copy of the game, and then we also have a download code for Alan Wake 1 Remastered, which I didn't realize that came with this. which is pretty cool. It doesn't even say on the box that that's included, so that's just a cool extra bonus, I guess. I don't know. And I don't have Alan Wake on the PS4, so pretty sick. Yeah, disc is brand new, so obviously that looks good. And yeah, Alan Wake 2, freaking incredible. This comes with all of the DLC as well, which I haven't played any of that yet, so I'm pretty excited to check that out. I'll probably wait for Halloween time to replay this and play the DLC stuff, but I also have a PlayStation Pro now, so I'm excited to see how this looks on the Pro. I think the Pro version of this game is supposed to look pretty freaking solid. And then in this bag, we also have some Lay's all-dressed potato chips. My partner and I have been watching Trailer Park Boys, so I wanted to try some all-dressed potato chips because they're Canadian. Oh, they smell pretty good. Kind of just smells like barbecue chips. But let's try one of these. Yeah, it's pretty good. Kind of tastes like a barbecue chip, but with a little more vinegar flavor to it. Which I really like, vinegary potato chips, so these are really freaking good. I like this. All right, we have another package from Walmart here. Let's open this one up. In package number 2, we have a copy of, ooh, what's this one? Oh, sick, yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk for the Nintendo Switch. And I grabbed this copy on sale for $22. It is a brand new copy. And yeah, this is a game that I've just been really excited to play for a while. I know it came out a couple years ago, and I just haven't gotten around to checking it out yet, but I know it's essentially a spiritual successor to the Jet Set Radio games, and I really, really like Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio Future. I probably like Future more, but those are both freaking bangers. They have banger soundtracks. I've listened to some of the soundtrack from this game, and it also has a freaking banger soundtrack, so I'm really excited to check it out. I think the Switch version is supposed to be pretty good, and yeah, again, just a solid title to have in the Switch collection. I have 3 more here. I found all of these on Woot.com using Deku Deals. Woot.com is something that I'd never really even heard of before, but when I started using Deku Deals, I realized that they have pretty good sales on games. And if I remember correctly, all 3 of these are first-party Switch games, and all of them were brand new for $40, which for first-party Switch games, they don't usually get much cheaper than that. And these are just like good Switch games that I've been wanting to add to the collection for a while, so let's see what we got here. So we have a copy of, yeah man, frickin' Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. I don't have much to say about this. I borrowed it from a friend a while ago and played through the whole thing, and I've been wanting to own my own copy ever since, and I've just never gotten around to it. And now I finally have my own copy. So this is just, if you own a Switch, you should have a copy of frickin' Super Mario Odyssey for sure. And then in the next package, we have a copy of, what is this one? It's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This one I've actually never played. I've been interested in checking it out ever since it was released. And I kind of just like 3D platformers, and Nintendo kind of makes a lot of the best 3D platformers, except for Astrobot on the PlayStation 5, which is the best 3D platformer. Better than Mario Odyssey. Sorry, Mario Odyssey, but Astrobot's better. Sorry, that's just the way it is. But yeah, this is just another really cool Switch game that I've been wanting to have for a while. And then lastly, where's my other package? Where'd it go? Here it is. All these packages are really dirty. Some dirty packages. We have a copy of, oh yeah, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury. Once again, I just feel like as a Switch owner and as a person who likes 3D platformers, I should probably own a copy of this. I've heard that Bowser's Fury in particular is really, really cool. And I know Super Mario 3D World, that was originally a Wii U game, but I've never played it. I haven't played it on the Switch or on the Wii U, and I've never played Bowser's Fury either. So very, very excited to check this out. And there is one thing in common with all 3 of these. Maybe you've already figured it out, but all 3 of these games will have free backwards compatibility enhancements on the Switch 2 when the Switch 2 comes out. And I've already secured my pre-order for the Switch 2. So kind of being a little bit of a Nintendo shill right now. So I'm excited to get my Switch 2, and I'm excited to check these out on the Switch 2 with enhancements. So I'm not going to play these right away. I'm going to wait till I get the Switch 2 to play some of these. And that should be pretty fun. But again, just like, these are really, really good, solid Switch games that if you're into the Nintendo Switch, if you like Nintendo games, I felt like I should just have these. So yeah, there's the haul that I put together using the Deku Deals app. I think I spent a little over $200 for these. If you were buying them at MSRP, it would have been a lot more than that. Especially for Alan Wake 2, that was like almost half off. But yeah, I'm really excited about all of these, and once again, thank you to Deku Deals for sponsoring the video. Okay, well, this video is already too long, but we're gonna get into the ranking now. The ranked collection pickups, the ultimate list. So this will include all of the games that I've picked up at video game stores in the last 6 months that I haven't already discussed in a video. We're gonna talk about all of them now. We're gonna rank them from the ones that I enjoyed the least to the ones that I enjoyed the most. And yeah, let's get into it, starting with the game from the last 6 months that I bought at a game store that I've enjoyed the least, which is Dirt 2 for the PlayStation Portable. And I think this is probably the only game that I bought in the last 6 months that I like actually actively kind of hate. It doesn't feel like Dirt. It doesn't feel like a rally racing game. Driving on pavement versus driving on dirt feels exactly the same. As far as I can tell, there's no like actual traditional rally racing mode, so there's no like, you know, time trial rally mode, that's the stuff that I like to do when I play a rally racing game. I like to do the traditional rally mode. Yeah, I think this game's pretty bad. I think I spent I'd spent $10 on it, that's too much for this. If I would have bought it from a Goodwill or something, I would have felt a little better about it, and it also doesn't have the manual, so. This was a bad pickup. There's some other like racing games that I picked up on the PlayStation Portable that are going to be ranked much higher, and I think because I was excited about those games, I wanted like more racing games to play on the PSP, and this one was just a dud. So I don't recommend this at all. Definitely don't pay $10 for it. Yeah, Dirt 2 for the PSP sucks. And it's at the bottom of the list. There are 35 games on this list total, and Dirt 2 is at number 35. Sucks. Piece of crap. And at number 34, we have a game that I don't think necessarily sucks, but I don't think it's great either, and I was pretty disappointed with it. But that game is Dragon's Lair 3D for the original Xbox. Look at this cover art though. That's a really nice looking cover. I like how it looks. It's a nice complete copy of Dragon's Lair 3D. And this isn't really a Dragon's Lair game at all. If you've ever played Dragon's Lair, it's like it's basically like an FMV game, but it's like cartoons instead of FMV. And there's not really much to the gameplay. You're just kind of like making really basic decisions. But this game is a 3D platformer, and I don't think it's very good. It's just a really basic 3D platformer. I don't think it really controls that well. There's this princess character that's always talking to you, and her voice is extremely grating and annoying. I really, really hated it. There are a lot of traps in the game, and they kind of feel unfair. Like they kind of harken back to the difficulty of the original game, which is that's not really a good thing. Like I don't think the unfair difficulty of the original Dragon's Lair is like a good thing that you should try to bring into a 3D platformer version of the game. And ultimately, I just think there are way better 3D platformers to play on the original Xbox. You got Blinks, you got Munch's Odyssey, you got Voodoo Vince, you got Psychonauts, even ToeJam and Earl 3. I would take ToeJam and Earl 3 over this game 8 days a week. So yeah, I just don't think this game's that good. I do like the case artwork. This is just one of those games that's kind of cool from a collection standpoint, but it's not something that I'm ever gonna play again. So I would not necessarily recommend Dragon's Lair 3D for the original Xbox. Hey, what's up guys? It's Editor John here. I somehow lost the footage of me talking about the number 33 game on my list. So I'm just gonna re-record that part really quick. I don't know. Number 33 on my list was Wet for the Xbox 360. So yeah, this was another kind of hyped up, slightly more valuable Xbox 360 game that I was excited to add it to the collection because I thought it looked kind of cool. Then I actually bought it and played it, and I didn't really think it was that great. And it's not a total Bullet Witch situation. Like if you guys remember me talking about Bullet Witch a lot last year, another, you know, slightly more expensive Xbox 360 game that I picked up, and I thought Bullet Witch really sucked. Like I think that game is kind of crappy. And Wet is not terrible, I just don't think it's very great. It feels heavily inspired by both Kill Bill and Max Payne, I think. This feels kind of like an average run-of-the-mill action game with some kind of like interesting stylish stuff around the edges, but overall I didn't think it was like that super fun or that memorable. I wouldn't recommend paying, you know, more than like 40 bucks for it. Even 40 bucks, that seems like kind of a lot for this game. So yeah, I think maybe the price to fun ratio on this one is a little skewed. And because of that, I'm going to be putting it at number 34 on my list. 33 on the list. This isn't confusing at all. All right, next up we have kind of an interesting PlayStation 2 game. I grabbed this copy of Oni, and I grabbed this from Record Head in West Allis, which is also where I grabbed that copy of Dragon's Lair 3D. And yeah, this game's okay. Kind of the interesting thing about it is that it was developed by frickin' Bungie and published by Rockstar. The controls are pretty jank, like for instance you have to tap forward twice to sprint, which sucks. And the L1 button is jump. I don't know, I don't really like that very much either. There's a focus on movement and like acrobatics in the game. There's lots of flipping and doing cartwheels. A lot of it is bound to the triggers, which feels kind of weird. Like I'd rather have that stuff on the face buttons. So again, just the controls aren't really my favorite. So I think this is a game where if you wanted to check it out, I think emulation might be a better way to do it, where you can kind of like adjust all those controls and just get it dialed into a way that actually feels good. Because this game, I just don't think it feels very good to play. I like it in concept. I like a cool, like anime, stylish 3D action game in concept, but in execution, I just don't think Oni's very good. So this one's gonna be coming in at number 32. At number 31, we have another PS2 game, Chaos Legion, also known as Devil May Cry Legion. Capcom literally cloned their own game. They made a Devil May Cry clone and call it Chaos Legion. This is a game that feels like a different company would have put it out and marketed it as a a DMC killer, like when companies were putting out games and calling them Halo killers, like Brute Force. This game is the brute force of the Devil May Cry world. It feels like it's trying really hard to be like DMC, but it kind of ends up feeling a little bit more like Dynasty Warriors, just because the combat just doesn't feel as impactful or fun or fast as Devil May Cry. There is a summoning mechanic in this game that's kind of interesting, but doesn't really save it from ultimately just being a boring DMC clone that is disappointing when held up next to the real thing. I love Devil May Cry. I freaking love these games. Well, not so much 2, but 1 and 3 are freaking classics. In number 30, we have a game that I actually haven't played yet, and that game is Ape Escape on the Loose. I think of the games that I haven't played yet that we'll be including on this list, my excitement level for this one is probably the lowest, but I still, I'm still excited about it. I think Ape Escape games seem cool, and I've never played one. If I did play one, I think playing it on the PSP would be a fun way to do it. And Astrobot had that Ape Escape level, and I thought that level was pretty fun, so I wanted to check out an Ape Escape game. And this is a nice complete copy of Ape Escape on the Loose. Yeah, I'll play this at some point. I think it seems cool, just haven't gotten around to it yet. Next up, we have Jack X Combat Racing. I grabbed this copy from Gaming Generations in Stevens Point a couple months ago, and I did play this one. I thought it was pretty fun. This is a nice complete copy. I just like car combat games, and I think this is a really nice feeling car combat game. I'd put it somewhere between Wipeout, Twisted Metal, and Mario Kart. Like, it feels like kind of a mix of all three of those, which is, those are all great games, and I think kind of putting them into a package that's kind of pulling things from all of those different games is fun, and I think this is a fun game. It runs at 60 frames per second, it looks great. It's just a solid title to have in your PS2 library. I like it. I think this is a good game. I think now we're starting to get into the games that I actually really like. So we had those like first 5 that I didn't think were that great, and now we're getting into more stuff that I actually enjoy. So Jack X Combat Racing, definitely not my favorite pickup, not the most exciting, but I still think it's pretty cool, and we're gonna put it at number 29. And I know I'm not saying the prices on all of these, I apologize. A lot of them I already took the stickers off, and I just don't remember what I paid for them. So if that bothers you, you can let me know in the comments. I'll try to do better next time. All right, next up we have The Last Guardian for the PlayStation 4, which I actually picked up from eBay a few months ago. I really like the cover art for this game. Like, it just looks cool. It looks like a Japanese game, Like, you can just look at this cover and you're like, yep, that game's Japanese for sure. And this game was directed by, I apologize, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, Fumito Ueda, who directed Shadow of the Colossus and Ico, which are 2 games that I really, really like, and I've never played this. I wanted to finally check it out. I could not get all the way through it, unfortunately. I think the concept of this game is so sick. Like, I love the idea of having this big, towering animal companion that's just hanging out with you all the time and helping you progress through these levels. I think that concept is so sick. I think the design of Trico, your big animal friend here, he's just like an amazingly designed creature. The animations on him are so freaking cool. Like, I think that aspect of the game is just straight up amazing. But I don't feel like this game controls very well at all. I feel like playing it is kind of a slog, and I just wish I liked it more. Like, I couldn't get through it. I had other stuff that I'd rather play, and I just didn't feel like doing another, 10 to 12 hours of The Last Guardian. But I think if this sounds interesting to you, you should check it out. Again, it's just like interesting. I love that someone made this game. I think it's awesome. I just wish I enjoyed it more. But yeah, I'm glad to have this in the collection. I'm definitely going to hang on to it. I think it's a really cool thing. Just wish I could have gotten into it a little more, but still a pretty sick pickup. I think I paid like $12 for this copy, so it's not a super expensive game, and it's going to be coming in at number 28. Okay, next up we have 2 Switch games. I'm putting these together because I felt pretty similarly about them, and I played them around the same time. And I wish they were higher. Like, I really wish I could have put these higher on the list, but I just didn't really enjoy either of them that much. I liked them, but I didn't love them. I didn't think they were great. And those games are Super Mario RPG and Sea of Stars. And I think of these 2, I liked Sea of Stars a little more. I thought the style of it was cool. I really liked the way that it looked. I liked the music. I thought the combat was pretty fun, but it just got boring like very quickly. Like, I played 4 to 5 hours of it, and it was just kind of the same thing over and over again. Like, there really wasn't enough variation in the battles. There wasn't really that much going on in the story for me. I didn't think the characters were that interesting. And then Super Mario RPG, I was really thinking I would like this game, and I just could not really get into it at all. I didn't like the music very much. I didn't think the combat felt that good. The characters are fine. I know people talk about like the humor in this game being really good. I didn't think it was really that funny. I don't know, maybe I'm just a grumpy sourpuss grandpa man, but I don't know, I just didn't think the humor was that great for me. I paid $25 for this one. I think this one was around $25 as well. And yeah, they were both cool. Like, I enjoyed them for a little bit, but I just wasn't like that into them, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna hang on to these. Thinking about it now, I probably should have ranked these lower than The Last Guardian and Jack Combat Racing, but it's too late to change the list now. The list is already set in stone. There's nothing I can do about it. So we're going to rank Super Mario RPG at number 27 and Sea of Stars at number 26. And number 25, we got Sly Cooper. I've never played a Sly Cooper game, and I think this game's pretty fun. It's a 3D platformer. It looks good on the PlayStation 2. It runs well. It's 60 frames per second. It's made by Sucker Punch, who went on to make the infamous games and Ghost of Tsushima. This is not a complete copy, unfortunately. I don't have the manual. It's also greatest hits. So I paid $14 for this, which is probably a little too much for an incomplete greatest hits copy, but that's okay. This game's fun. I don't know. It's fun. I don't have that much to say about it. It's just a fun 3D platformer. If you have a PS2, you should probably have a copy of Sly Cooper, if not 2 and 3 as well. So yeah, Sly Cooper coming in at number 25. Speaking of 3D platformers, I grabbed a copy of Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space for the original Xbox. And this one I still haven't played yet. I wanted to pick it up because I don't see it very often, and I just haven't played it because I wanted to play some of the first Blinks before I played this one. So I played some of the first Blinks, and I'll just talk about that instead, I guess. I love the character design of Blinks. I think he is a cool looking kitty. I like that he can control time, and the story is literally just Mario. You're trying to save a princess and get crystals to save the world. So it's just a 3D platformer story. I don't know. I think the time mechanics are fun. I think the vacuum is fun. I think the soundtrack is really great. I like the way it looks, and it's just a good 3D platformer. So I'm excited to check this one out too. Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space, and see what this one is all about. And yeah, looks cool. Blinks 2 is going to be coming in at number 24. Next up, we have a game that I got for free. I got this one for free. A friend gave it to me. And that game is The Simpsons Hit and Run. It's really fun. It's kind of just a GTA clone that takes place in the Simpsons universe. I think the cell shading they did on this game looks really good. Like, it's just a really nice looking cell shaded PS2 game. It's chaotic, it's silly, it's fun, and it's also like slightly valuable now. So I think getting it for free is pretty sick. I think it's like a $50 or $60 PS2 game, so not bad. This is also like a pretty good complete copy. Has the manual in there. Disc looks pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. Simpsons Hit and Run is going to come in at number 23. All right, next up we have a couple of racing games. So at 22 we have Need for Speed Shift, and at 21 we have Split Second. And I think both of these are pretty cool. I still haven't had a chance to play Need for Speed Shift. I've wanted to play this frickin' forever. It's just always looked really cool to me. I like the idea that it's more of a simulator style game than other Need for Speed games, and I want to see what that's like. So I've been playing a lot of racing games lately. I'll probably get to this one soon. I really need to play Blur on the PS3 because I'm more excited about that one. But I think after I play some Blur, I will play this one for sure. I did play Split Second, and this game's cool. Like, this is kind of an interesting racing game on the Xbox 360. And this game looks really, really good for an Xbox 360 game. There is definitely a lot of post-processing and like effects on the screen happening, just to kind of like pump up the production value of this thing. There's heavy lens flare, there's dirt on the lens all the time. This game has kind of a network TV show presentation to it, which is kind of cool. Like, that's kind of the main gimmick of Split Second. I do wish they would have like commentators speaking during the race. I think that would be a fun way to like boost that presentation a little bit even more. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It also feels a lot like Burnout, but instead of doing takedowns, you're like triggering kind of these scripted sequences where like stuff blows up or like something falls into the middle of the racetrack, and like there's always all this crazy stuff going on in Split Second. But yeah, I think this game is pretty fun. It's a good 360 racing game. All right, so that's number 21 and 22. We're getting into the top 20 now. And before we do, we're gonna take a little break. So we'll be right back, and then we'll do the top 20 collectors on pickups from the last 6 months. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up guys? We're back, and we're down to the top 20. Here's the stack right here, the top 20 stack. And as you can see, we got some pretty good variety. We have a couple PS1 games, some PSP, PS3, Xbox and Xbox 360, PS2, a couple little PS4 guys over here. We even have one that we haven't opened yet. So we'll unbox this one live on camera. This is a game that I've already played, but I wanted a physical copy, and I'm very excited about this one in particular. And yeah, there's some really good stuff in here. I'm pretty excited to go through all these with you guys and show you what I picked up, and eventually get on down to my favorite game from the last 6 months that I picked up. It's a pretty good one. If you can guess what it is in the comments, you will win a half-empty bottle of Squirt. Before we get into these, I did get one other thing in the mail. That is not a video game, but it is game related, and I want to unbox this really quick and talk about it with you guys because I think it's really cool. I'm like very, very excited about this. So yeah, let's crack into this. It's from Fangamer, so again, not a video game, but it is from Fangamer. It is game related. Let's check it out. Got my my horse knife that I use for unboxings, holographic horse knife. It's pretty sick. Okay, we got this part open, and now we have another, some more packaging in here. All right, here she is. Oh man, this is really cool. So I got a copy of the Double Fine Psych Odyssey documentary, the Blu-ray collector set. So yeah, Double Fine Psych Odyssey, if you haven't heard of this, it is basically a very, very long documentary about the making of Psychonauts 2. And I really like Psychonauts 2. I think it's a great game. It's one of my favorite 3D platformers. And I just freaking love this documentary. I'll talk about it a little more, but I just want to go through the contents of what's in here really quick. All right, so this is the main disc set here. This is a 22-hour documentary. It's really, really long. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of Blu-ray discs in here. Yeah, so this is a whole thing. There's a lot going on here. A lot to unpack and discover. And they filmed this over the course of 7 years, so it does mostly focus on the making of Psychonauts 2, but it kind of also just like goes over the entire history of Double Fine and like everything that they've done. And there's some like really crazy stuff that they talk about in this documentary that Double Fine went through that's like kind of hard to believe. Like it's really amazing that that studio is even still around when you like learn about some of the things that have happened to that studio over the years. It also comes with this really cool booklet that talks about, I think this is kind of like a making of the making of Psychonauts 2. Like this kind of talks about like how they made this documentary and talks about the company behind it a little bit. Here's what one of their timelines looks like in Final Cut. That's freaking crazy. But I think if you like video games and you even have a passive interest in like how games are made, this is like the definitive documentary on how games are made. Like this documentary is incredible and it really shows everything. Like I think there are a couple meetings where they wouldn't let the cameras in. Like I think that happens like once or twice, but other than that, they just show like everything. And it's really intimate. You see some like just really high emotions over the course of this. And you know, people are like very invested in this project. And it's just really crazy to see how much it takes to make a video game, because it really takes a lot more than you'd think to put a game out, you know? And I think as consumers of games, it is kind of important just to see, you know, how these things get made and how hard it is and how difficult it is for the people that work on them. A lot of these things just barely come together at the last minute or barely happen at all. And it's just really crazy to see such a deep dive on how this stuff happens. So yeah, I think it's great. If you've ever watched like a NoClip documentary on YouTube, I love NoClip. Like I think those documentaries are amazing. But even the guy who runs NoClip, Danny O'Dwyer, he is on record as saying that this is the best video game documentary that's ever been produced. And I have to agree with him. Like as much as I love those NoClip docs, I think this is really incredible. This entire thing is available on YouTube for free also. That's how I originally watched it. But when I saw they were putting out a physical version of it, I just couldn't resist. And like you saw, it is just a really cool package. It does come with a bunch of bonus features as well. I'm not sure if the bonus stuff is also available on YouTube. Maybe it is. But either way, this is worth it for me to have. I really like, you know, physical media, physical movies. And again, I just love this documentary so much. And really happy to have this cool collector's edition of it. I think this is pretty frickin' sick. Okay, now it's time for the real deal. We're gonna get into the top 20 pickups. Let's do it. At number 20, we have Tony Hawk's American Wasteland for the original Xbox. So maybe not that exciting, maybe it's more of a common game, but I don't care. I think Tony Hawk games are really fun, and this is one that I've been wanting to pick up for a while. I think I'd rather have the Xbox 360 version, probably. I'm sure that's a better version of the game. It is a lot more expensive and it is a lot harder to find. So I was happy to find this copy for the original Xbox at Half Price Books for $7.50. You can see from this receipt, it was the only thing that I bought when I went in there. Half Price Books kind of sucks. I usually don't find that much in there. It's also incomplete, which is fine. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, this is just a really fun Tony Hawk game. It's basically Tony Hawk mixed with like a Grand Theft Auto formula. It's a little more open world than the Tony Hawk games that came before this one. The original Xbox version, there is a lot of like kind of long corridors with nothing in them that you're skating through to like get to the next area while it loads stuff in the background. But whatever, it doesn't bother me that much. It's just a really fun game. I like the 2005 vibe of it. Tony Hawk games are fun no matter what. So this is just one that I didn't have, and I'm really happy that now I do have it because it's great. I love Tony Hawk games. Coming in at number 19, we have Nier Replicant for the PlayStation 4. I grabbed this copy from Mega Media Exchange for $14, which I think is a pretty good price for this. I think they were also doing like a 20% off discount on games that day. So this ended up being like, you know, 11 or 12 bucks, which is a pretty good price for this game. I think it's still valued at like over $20 for used copies. You can also see that I bought 3 seasons of Grey's Anatomy on DVD that day. we were watching some Grey's Anatomy, man. We're not watching anymore, but we watched through like season 5 or season 4. I don't even remember. But yeah, I grabbed a couple seasons on DVD, so we didn't have to keep paying for Netflix. Anyway, this actually does have some inserts in here. What do we got? We have a Square Enix members. Someone can steal this code. I don't need this one. You guys can have it. And we have some ads for other Square Enix games. We have Balan Wonderworld. I know everybody loves that one. We have some Nier Automata figures and some Final Fantasy XIV stuff as well. That's cool. I mean, it's still not a manual, but it's better than nothing. I don't know what this is, just like health and safety stuff. We also have a nice reversible cover. Oh, this is actually really cool. I like this reversible cover art. I'm gonna replace it right now. This is pretty sick. All right, it's a nice looking PS4 game right there. Yeah, I still haven't played this one. I'm very excited about it though because I like Nier Automata quite a bit. I think that's a great game. I'm pretty sure it's a remake of the Japanese version of Nier for the PlayStation 3. So I feel like this would be a good way to check that game out, and I think it's supposed to be pretty cool. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. I think these games are pretty awesome. Put my receipt back in here. I like to save my receipts. If I didn't save my receipts, I would never know that I bought Nier Replicant the same day that I bought 4 seasons of Grey's Anatomy on DVD. So it's important to keep that documentation. Then next up, coming in at number 18, we have a copy of The Darkness for the Xbox 360, which is a game that I've played before. I had a copy on the PS3, which I played through. I sold that copy at some point because I just decided I'd rather have these games on the 360, and I finally got one on the 360. And I think in my last video, I also picked up The Darkness 2, so now I have both of them. But yeah, I'm very excited about The Darkness. I think these games are really cool. This copy is also not complete, which is I don't know, I feel like I should have bought a complete copy of this, but it was also $15, which is maybe not the best price for this without a manual. I feel like so I was in this store called Say Word, which is it's like a vintage clothing store. They also sell video games. It's pretty close to where I live. And it's a good store. Like, I find cool stuff there. I feel like that time I was in there, I wasn't really finding anything, but I still wanted to grab something, and I just like decided to get this, even though it's not the best copy of The Darkness for $15, but whatever. I'm still happy to have it. Maybe someday I'll come across a complete copy and just replace this one. Really good one to have. Like these games a lot, and that's going to be coming in at number 18 because I think it's cool. I'm excited about it. All right, these next two I'm just going to keep them together because they're related. But coming in at number 16 and 17, we have Final Fantasy 13-2 and Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns. And I grabbed these from Make Sense Variety Store, which is a pretty cool retro game store that's in the Milwaukee area. Lightning Returns was $25 and 13-2 was $15, which I think those are like pretty decent prices for these. And I kind of like don't really see these that often. And basically the reason I got these was because I was playing some Final Fantasy 13. I finished Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth and I was in the mood to play more Final Fantasy. So I started 13 just because I haven't played that one in forever. And I kind of wanted to go back to it and check it out. I remember really liking it when it came out. I remember being particularly impressed with how it looked when it came out. And I still think that game looks really freaking good for an Xbox 360 game. The combat's really interesting. I know it's not for everyone, but I think the combat in that game is pretty fun. I like that it's more about strategy and planning before you get into battles. And then once you get into the battle, your characters kind of just do their thing. And I think that's cool. I think that's like kind of an interesting way to play a JRPG. These are both complete. They're both like pretty good looking copies. This copy of 13-2 has like a little bit of nasty sticker stuff on it, and it has you know, this thing, which I don't really mind that. You can peel it off easily or keep it on. It is kind of cool to have that like original seal on it. But yeah, two more games that I'm pretty stoked about, ranked at 16 and 17 on my list. At number 15, we have a classic PS1 banger that I'm excited to finally get my hands on, and that is NFL Blitz. You know, nothing crazy, a fairly common game. It's maybe like a $10 or $15 game. I picked up this copy from Game Together MKE. It's my favorite game store in the Milwaukee area. And it's a really, really clean copy. It's like super duper clean. The case is really nice. This manual is looking really good. This disc is like spotless. They resurface all of their discs there. They have like a really nice disc resurfacer. But yeah, I was playing a bunch of NFL Blitz 2002 on the original Xbox this past year, and I got kind of into it, so I wanted to play more NFL Blitz games, and I had never played this original one on the PlayStation 1. I played the arcade version. I had a friend who had it on the N64 and we played it at his house, but I've never played the PS1 version, and it's great. It's a really good version of NFL Blitz. It's just a classic arcade football game. It's super goofy, it's super fun. And I don't even care about football that much, but I still think these games are really fun to play. So I'm really excited to finally have this one in the collection. I like having these fun little arcade ports on the PlayStation 1. I think they're always just a really good time. So yeah, super excited about this one at number 15. Okay, and then these next 4, I'm gonna do these all together as well because these are all very similar to each other. They're all PlayStation 2 games. They're actually all light gun games for the PlayStation 2. So these are going to be coming in at numbers 14 through 11. Starting at number 14, we have Ninja Assault for the PlayStation 2. At number 13, we have Time Crisis 2. At number 12, we have Dino Stalker. And then at number 11, we have Vampire Knight. So yeah, this one's definitely my favorite of these 4 light gun games. I just think Vampire Knight is really freaking sick. I don't know, it has the best vibes for sure. It's very similar to House of the Dead, but kind of a different vibe to it. And I don't know, I just think it's super fun. It also has a good amount of difficulty options, which is great for an idiot like me, because I'm actually not very good at light gun games at all. But I do love playing them. I think they're really fun. So playing one like this that has like a super duper easy mode that I can just roll through, that's great. That's kind of how I prefer to play these, honestly. Ninja Assault and Time Crisis 2 are both extremely difficult. I wasn't actually able to get all the way through either of these yet, just because they're so freaking hard. Ninja Assault especially, this game is just like a freaking gauntlet. It's really, really fast. There's so many enemies on the screen all the time. I kind of struggled to even get through the first couple levels with this one, so I think if I wanted to get through Ninja Assault, I'd really have to, you know, hunker down and hone my skills a little bit. Time Crisis 2 is obviously just a classic. I've played the arcade version of this a bunch, which is, you know, the arcade version is better than the home release, but this is still really fun to play, and it's a good time. Again, just really, really difficult, but it's still very fun. And then Dino Stalker is kind of its own thing. This is a Capcom release. These other 3 are from Namco. So this is like a different type of game. It's still a light gun game. It is technically part of the Dino Crisis series. It's a little more similar to like Resident Evil Survivor, or Resident Evil Dead Aim if you've played those games. And those are games where you can like actually move your character around in addition to using the light gun to shoot stuff on the screen. But I thought this game was really fun. I played through the whole thing. I don't think it got great reviews when it came out, but I had a really good time playing it. And I really like this style of game with like being able to move around and use the light gun as well. I just think that's really fun, and I like Dino Crisis, so that was cool. It was cool to play a light gun game that takes place in the Dino Crisis universe. So yeah, those are my 4 light gun pickups for the PS2. Again, I really liked Vampire Knight and Dino Stalker quite a bit. These other 2, I still really like them. They're just like a lot harder and a little more difficult for me to get into, but they're both pretty sick too. So yeah, check out Vampire Knight if you like light gun games. I think it's kind of a less common light gun game on the PS2, but it was awesome. I really liked playing through Vampire Knight. All right, baby, we're down to the top 10. These games are gonna be the cream of the crop. These are the ones that I was the most excited about, the ones that I enjoyed playing the most, and some of these surprised me. Like some of these, I'm kind of surprised that they ended up this high, but these are just the ones that I probably like actually played the most of what's on this list, and they're awesome. I think all these games are awesome. So let's start going through them. Starting off at number 10 with Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube, and I think this game is cool. I think if you like Wind Waker, or if you like, you know, Okami, I think you'd probably like this too. I think this game is it's just a really solid action-adventure game that, you know, it feels a lot like a Zelda game, but it's also kind of doing some interesting stuff. I think it's cool that when you travel between different worlds, you basically have to play through like a miniature Star Fox level where you're like flying through space and blasting asteroids and blasting enemies. And I think it's cool that they like still put that stuff in this game, even though this is a very different type of game to like the classic Star Fox experience. And I also think it just looks incredible. Like this is a really, really good looking GameCube game. Just like the grass and the water and like the fur effects on your little furry friends here. Like all that stuff looks really crazy good and still holds up extremely well today, especially if you're playing it on a CRT like this one back here. This game is just gonna look really, really good in that format. And I think overall it's just very well made. It has the, you know, official Nintendo seal of quality on it. And you can feel that when you play this game. Like I think the combat feels good, the platforming feels really good. The puzzles are fun, again, looks amazing, and it's just overall a really good package. It is a nice complete copy as well. The disc isn't in here because it's in my GameCube right now while I was playing it. And yeah, I think this game is awesome. I think it's really fun. If you've played this one, let me know in the comments. I want to know what you think about Star Fox Adventures, because I think it's cool. I don't know. Coming in at number 9, we actually have another GameCube game. And that game at number 9 is Killer 7. Honestly, I was hoping this would be a little higher. I do think this game is freaking awesome. Like, there's no way around it. Killer 7 is just a sick video game. It's directed by Suda51, who is a Japanese game director. He's put out a bunch of stuff over the years that you probably recognize, like No More Heroes, Shadows of the Damned, a Lollipop Chainsaw. More recently, he put out this like free-to-play game on the PlayStation 4 called Let It Die. I don't really hear people talk about Let It Die very often, but I remember playing that when it came out, and I thought Let It Die was pretty freaking awesome. But yeah, Killer 7, I don't even know how to describe this game. It's really not like anything I've ever played. It's kind of a shooter, but it's also kind of like a puzzle adventure game like Myst. And there's a lot going on. You can like switch between all these different characters on the fly. All the characters have different abilities. The visual language of this game is just like nothing else that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it just looks absolutely insane. The sound design is also insane. Again, there's just really nothing else like this. I think of all the games on my list, this one would probably win the Best Style Award. Like, Killer 7 just has the coolest style of, like, you know, probably top 5 style of all time in terms of video games. I don't know. And I think I rented this back when it came out, and I thought it was really cool back then. So I really wanted to have a copy of this, like, for a long, long time. I've been looking for a copy of this. But yeah, I finally found this copy at Game Together MKE. And it was, I have my receipt here, so let's take a look. It was $70 for this complete copy, which I think is pretty solid. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a complete copy of this for less than $70 now. And yeah, I think it's pretty awesome. I don't necessarily enjoy playing it as much as I remember. Like, it's still really fun. It's a really interesting experience. I honestly think it's worth buying just because of how cool it is to look at. And again, playing a game like this on a CRT on original hardware, that's just like kind of an unmatched experience. I think the puzzle solving gets a little too difficult and obtuse, and that's kind of where the hang up is for me. But even with that, like, this is still an awesome game. Again, if you're into GameCube stuff, you should pick this up. It also came out on the PlayStation 2, but I think the GameCube version is a lot better than that version. The PS2 version is a little cheaper, but I wanted the real thing. I wanted the real deal. And I'm really happy to finally have Killer 7 in the collection. At number 8, we have something a little less exciting, but I still think it's really cool, and that is Gran Turismo for the PSP. And this is really just a very simplified, distilled version of Gran Turismo that's kind of optimized to be something that you play on the go, like something you'd play handheld on a PlayStation Portable, you know? There's no like career mode, there's no story mode, you're just doing single races to get credits, and then you're using those credits to buy cars. There are only 5 different manufacturers that you can buy cars from every day, and it kind of changes every day. So it kind of encourages you to like fire it up once a day and do a couple races, buy a car or two, and then stop playing. I feel like that's kind of the what the gameplay loop of this game was designed to be, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I think this game was criticized when it came out for being too simple. But I think it's really fun, and I like games that are designed around having, you know, kind of a short play experience. Like, maybe you play it for 20 or 30 minutes and then you put it down, which is kind of the point of handheld games, you know? And I think that's the reason why something like Animal Crossing works so well as a handheld game. You just pick up and play a little bit of it every day to check in on your town and see what's new in the shops, and you don't have access to everything that's in the shop all the time. And that's okay, because that's what the experience is supposed to be. I think this game looks and feels great on the PSP. It runs really, really well. If you're interested in like 80s and 90s and early 2000s JDM cars, there's a lot of that in this game, and I freaking love stuff like that. If you want to buy a 1995 Acura Integra and race it around a little bit, you can definitely do that in Gran Turismo for the PSP. And overall, I just really like the simplicity of this game. When it comes to racing games, I would rather play something really simple than something that's like overcomplicated. Like even, you know, Forza Horizon 5, that's a great game. Do I ever go back and play it? Not really, because I don't like the menus and because there's like way too much stuff going on in that game. And I just want to play for like, you know, 15 or 20 minutes, and it's really difficult to do that in that game. And with something like this, it's really easy to just pick it up and play. So I really appreciate it for that. I don't know, I think this is a lot of fun and a really good thing to have on the PlayStation Portable. So that's number 8. I've definitely played a lot of this one, and kind of in the same vein, coming in at number 7, we have Burnout Dominator for the PSP. Yeah, man, I've been playing a lot of racing games on the PSP lately. I think the PSP is like just a really good platform for racing games. And like I said, a lot of these games are just designed to be very simple pick up and play experiences on that platform. Maybe not too simple like Dirt 2. Like, I think Dirt 2 was just too simple and there wasn't enough going on. And it was also just bad, like it didn't feel good to play. And yeah, Burnout games are just really fun, and this is just like a slightly more simple version of Burnout that you can play on the go. And I think that's a great way to play some freaking Burnout, you know? And playing these older racing games on the PSP, it kind of got me thinking about like handheld platforms in general. And I think we're definitely missing stuff like this in modern gaming now, because we don't really have dedicated handheld platforms anymore. Like, we have the Switch and we have the Steam Deck, and both of those platforms just play like console games, you know? Like, they play PC games, they play console games. They're not playing like a different version of a game that's meant to run on a handheld. It's meant to be a little more simple, you know what I mean? And as a grown-up with a limited time to play retro games, I find stuff like this extremely appealing. I find these short pick up and play experiences to be preferable to playing like a super long JRPG on the PlayStation 2, you know? It's honestly kind of a bummer to me that games aren't being made specifically for handhelds anymore. So yeah, I think both of these are really fun. I've played quite a bit of them. And yeah, man, I love playing racing games on the PSP. I think I've really learned that about myself in the last 6 months, is that the PSP is definitely like a pretty outstanding platform when it comes to racing games. All right, well, I probably talked a little too much about racing games on the PSP, but that's okay. Coming in at number 6, we have another one that I haven't played yet, and that kind of sucks that I haven't played this yet, but I'm really, really excited about it, and that game is Asura's Wrath for the Xbox 360. I grabbed this copy at Mega Media Exchange for $50, which I think is a pretty solid price for this. It is a nice, complete copy. And yeah, this is just an Xbox 360 game that I've really wanted for a long time. I did grab this one pretty recently, like in the last couple of weeks, so I just haven't gotten around to playing it yet. But again, I am very excited about this. This game has always looked really interesting to me. I've heard it described as interactive anime, and that sounds awesome. I think it also has some rail shooter elements to it, which sounds awesome as well. I really like stuff like Rez or Panzer Dragoon Orta. I think those games are super fun. Again, I'm not speaking from a place of having played it, because I haven't played it yet, but I am very excited about it. That's why I put it so high. And as someone who loves collecting for the 360, this is just one that, again, I've been looking for it for a very long time. Finally found it complete for a decent price and picked it up. And yeah, Asura's Wrath coming in at number 6. At number 5, we have this one that's still in the package, so let's bust into this bad boy and see what it is. It's like super taped. There's like a lot of tape on it, but they also didn't put it in a bubble mailer. So it's like, why didn't you just put this in a bubble mailer? That would have been a much better way to ship it. It's from eBay, by the way, so. All right, here we go. What could it be? Oh yeah, baby. We got Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition for the PlayStation 4. Yeah, so like I said earlier, I just finished Rebirth recently, and I played through Remake for the first time last year. And really like Remake a lot, really like Rebirth. So because I was so into those games, I kind of just wanted to get this collector's edition for Remake while it was still, you know, relatively affordable. I paid $48 for this copy from eBay, and I think it came with everything. So we have the Deluxe Edition art book. We have the soundtrack on CD, which is awesome. I really wanted to have this, and this is still sealed. So yeah, that's pretty sick. I collect CDs. I like listening to stuff on CD. So having a game soundtrack with this collector's edition on CD is pretty cool to me. Also came with this steelbook, and I believe the game is in here. Yep, there she is. Yep, so we have both the discs in there, and really cool looking steelbook. We got Sephiroth. Oh yeah, baby. And then a logo on this other side. Also came with a regular case, which is cool, I guess. And yeah, this is just a game that I really like. I might try to get the deluxe edition for Rebirth at some point as well. That one's a little pricier, I think. But yeah, I thought, you know, $50 for something like this is pretty fair. And yeah, I like this a lot. I think it's awesome. And I can't wait to play these again in like 3 or 4 years when I'm ready to replay them. That'll be really fun, so looking forward to it already. All right, and at number 4, we have Ridge Racer 7 for the PlayStation 3. This game frickin' rips, dude. You know, I was talking a lot about racing games earlier. I was talking about how I kind of prefer just a more like simple, streamlined experience where you can do like 1 or 2 races and then bounce. It's super arcadey, it's super smooth, it's super fun. The soundtrack is amazing. I frickin' love the soundtrack in this game. It's a nice complete copy. I paid $25 for this from Game Together MKE. And yeah, this game's just great. I even just like the menus in this game and like the sound effects on the menus and how they look. This game is just like the most 2006 Japanese looking and sounding thing that's ever been made, except for maybe Gran Turismo 5 on the PlayStation 3. But yeah, it's awesome. I really like it. I've played a ton of it. I like to play this game while I ride my exercise bike. I don't know. It just gets me pumped up to ride my bike and race around. That's why it's coming in at number 4, because I played a ton of it and I think it's awesome. And it's my channel. I can do whatever I want. I can put this above Killer 7. I don't care. Ridge Racer 7 is better than Killer 7. You heard it here first. At number 3, we have something that I'm also very excited about, and it's been in this shot the whole time. It's right up here. Can you see it? Can you see what it is? Let me go grab it really quick. We got Half-Life on the PS2, baby. Look at this freaking cover art. That just looks so sick. I don't know. Like, even if I didn't care about Half-Life, I'd still probably want to have this just because this cover art is so good. But I do care about Half-Life. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Half-Life 1 and 2 were both very influential games for me growing up. I think this PS2 version of Half-Life, though, is maybe a little bit better than the Xbox version of Half-Life 2. This thing's a little rough. It's kind of crazy that they ever got this up and running on the Xbox at all. Like, I think it's impressive in that sense that they even got it to work. But this version of Half-Life, this feels like it does actually belong on a PS2. It does actually run very well and it looks good. It has a very, very customizable control options, so you don't have to use inverted camera controls like a lot of other FPS games that came out on the PS2. In this era, you can like change all that stuff. You can do custom control layouts. There are like all kinds of things in this game that just make it kind of a good experience. Again, especially when you compare it to other PlayStation 2 shooters of this era, this one just like holds up really well in 2025. It also has an exclusive console co-op mode called Half-Life Decay, which I still haven't played. Maybe I can convince my girlfriend to play it with me. I don't know. It looks pretty cool. Is the PC version of Half-Life better than the PS2 version? Yeah, for sure. Like if you're playing Half-Life on a modern PC with a mouse and keyboard, that's probably still the best way to play Half-Life. Or you could get Black Mesa, the remake of Half-Life. That's also a really good way to play it. But I think this is just like a really interesting version of Half-Life. I think it's cool that they put this out on the PS2. It's another one that I just think looks really good on my CRT back here, and I think playing it on a controller is kind of an interesting experience. And again, playing it on a controller is actually a good experience because you can customize all the controls and it actually works very well. And again, just look at this cover art and look at like everything about this case. And I do have a complete copy with the manual as well. And this manual is freaking awesome. Like, it's a full color manual. It looks really cool. It has all these nice looking images and graphics in it. And it's, you know, manuals don't get much better than this one. This is just like a really nice looking manual. And yeah, I paid $60 for this copy from Record Head. And yeah, I think it's awesome. As a Half-Life aficionado, I'm really happy that I was finally able to check out this version of the game. And yeah, I think it's great. And I think it's an awesome PS2 pickup. I'm really happy to have it. Just a side note, it's kind of crazy to think that Half-Life 1 and 2 both came out on 6th gen consoles because there was just like such a wide gap in tech between those two games. But somehow they made it happen. They got Half-Life 2 to run on a 6th gen console. I don't know. Console releases of Half-Life are just really interesting. I really like having them. All right, we only have two more. These are both really, really good ones. This next one I picked up from Press Start Games in Appleton, Wisconsin, and it's coming in at number 2. And that game is Ridge Racer Type 4 for the PlayStation 1. I started getting into Ridge Racer a couple years ago. It's one of my favorite racing series now. I think all of them are so freaking fun. And this is probably my favorite one now. I think Ridge Racer R4 is freaking awesome. A lot of people recommended it to me. A lot of people said that I would definitely really like this one. And I really do. I think it's awesome. I think the career mode in this game is really interesting, and it's a huge step up from the Ridge Racer games that came before this one. It has actual characters in it that will give you like different dialogue depending on how well you're doing in your races. I think the overall look and feel of the menus in this game is absolutely incredible. I can't overstate that at all. I think this game has some of the coolest menus I've ever seen in my life, and the soundtrack is just sublime. Like, there's no other way to put it. The music in this game is just some of the best racing game music that you'll find anywhere. And overall, it's a lot like the other Ridge Racer games on PS1, except it has more tracks, and it has more cars, and more music, and this career mode that's really cool, and the menus are way cooler, and there's overall just way more to it, but it doesn't feel bloated. Like, it just feels like this is a good amount of content in this game, and it's overall just a really amazing package. And yeah, talking about it just makes me want to play more Ridge Racer Type 4 right now. I think this is probably the best PS1 racing game that I've personally played. And there are a lot of good racing games on the PS1. If you like Ridge Racer games and you haven't played this one, you just have to play it because it's so good. I freaking love this game so much. I don't know, it's awesome. Okay, folks, we did it. We made it to number 1. My voice is getting a little tired, but that's okay. I'm still really excited to show you guys what my favorite pickup from the last 6 months is. This game is the most I've ever spent on a single game. And that's not necessarily why it's number 1. Like, I think the fact that it's so valuable probably factors into my excitement level a little bit. But mostly, it's just like, I think this game is awesome, and I'm really excited to have it. And that game is BMX XXX. No, I'm just kidding. It is Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes for the Nintendo GameCube. I guess we ended up with a lot of GameCube grails on this list somehow. But yeah, this is just, as far as GameCube grails go for me, this would probably be at the very, very top of the list. Like, this is the number 1 GameCube game that I've wanted to add to the collection for a very long time. And again, I'm not like super heavy into GameCube collecting, but this is just one that I had to have because I really, really like Metal Gear Solid. It's probably my favorite series of all time. And this is the only Metal Gear Solid game that I didn't already physically own. And I haven't played it since it came out, basically. Like, I rented it back when it came out, back in 2004, I think this came out. And I haven't played it since, so I really wanted to check it out again. And this is a super nice, complete copy. I paid $100 for it. So again, that is the most that I've ever spent on a single game. And I know this game was fairly controversial back when it came out. It wasn't directed by Hideo Kojima, and I think a lot of people just didn't really like the direction that they took with it. I think as far as Metal Gear Solid games go, MGS1 is pretty reserved and tame as far as those games go. I think like 2, 3, 4, those just got crazier and crazier, and then the first one is a little more subtle, I guess, even though it's still kind of ridiculous. But this remake, they really just went super over the top tonally. The cutscenes are a lot sillier, like they have this very over the top action movie, The Matrix type of vibe to them. There's a lot of slow-mo, and like Snake is doing flips, and like all this weird stuff is happening that wasn't in the original game. But I didn't necessarily mind any of that stuff. Like, I don't really agree with them changing it, but it also isn't like super bothering me when I go back to play this. I just think it's kind of interesting. I think it's interesting to see a different take on this game, I guess. And it also plays very, very well. Like, I think that's kind of the main draw of this to me, is that it's basically Metal Gear Solid 1 with a few tonal changes, but it also just plays like Metal Gear Solid 2. And I think playing through Metal Gear Solid 1 in an engine that feels like Metal Gear Solid 2 with very similar controls and super smooth frame rate, looks really good. That's like a good way to play Metal Gear Solid 1. I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with that. So yeah, nothing about this feels particularly bad or egregious to me. There were some control changes that I don't love. For instance, the GameCube doesn't have pressure-sensitive buttons like the PS2, so that makes aiming a lot more difficult. You have to like press Y and A on the GameCube controller at the same time to aim and shoot, which doesn't feel great. Like, I think they should have just put that stuff on the triggers. But then if you put it on the triggers, then that changes the inventory system. That's a very integral part of playing these games, is having the inventory on the triggers. So I don't know, I feel like that's just kind of a hard thing to balance, and they did probably the best that they could. Is it the definitive version of MGS1? No, absolutely not. Like, the PS1 version is still king, but this is just a cool version of it, and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, when I start playing a Metal Gear Solid game, I usually just get very, very sucked into it immediately. And that still happened with this game. So this game still has the same effect on me that the other ones do. Even if it wasn't directed by Kojima, even if it's a little different and they changed some things about it for the worse, it's still really, really fun, and it's a really interesting game. And yeah, I just think this is great. I think this game is freaking awesome. So happy to have this one, happy to put it at number 1. And yeah, I don't know. That's the list, man. I'm tired of talking about video games now. BMX XXX is cool too, I guess. Keep it dirty. That's how we do it. Kojima, he was always keeping it dirty. He's that man knows how to put some dirty stuff in his games. Okay, so those are my pickups from the last 6 months, ranked. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's probably gonna be a freaking long one, but that's okay. If you're still watching, I appreciate you for still being here, man, because this was a gauntlet for sure. Getting this one recorded and edited. It's going to take me a really freaking long time to finish editing it, so thank you for watching if you watched through the whole thing. And thank you again to Deku Deals for sponsoring the video. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching this one. And I'm Collector John. We'll see you guys in the next one.